and I represent the voice of the youth delegation of the Council of Europe. And we would like by thanking everyone here for being here, but most especially the Council of Europe for giving every young person around the world an opportunity to lend our voices. This is the report of the contributions of the 10th Youth Delegation of the Council of Europe at the World Forum for Democracy 2022. 48 youth delegates from around the world have convened to participate in the 10th edition of the World Forum for Democracy 2022. These young people coming from Council of Europe member states and beyond include human rights activists, students, journalists, politicians, content creators who are using their voices and platforms to effect change in their societies. They belong to different ethnic, religious, sociocultural, and ideological backgrounds, yet are united by their passion for improving youth participation and the effectiveness of democracy across the world. During the laboratories and forums, we had 15 youth delegates serving as discussants, 2 as rapporteurs, and 1 as a moderator. And I'm so proud of all of them. We also had very active contributions from the other youth delegates who asked questions and, shared reflections in their discussions. I have grouped my report into observations and recommendations, and I'll start with the observation. The youth delegate made many valuable contributions to the Q&A sessions during the plenaries on the first day of the forum. They asked insightful questions and proposed practical solutions to issues they face in their countries. The youth delegates helped foster a rich discussion in the labs and forums by questioning the ways in which we can revitalize democracy when young people are not always interested or included in decision-making and political structures. The youth delegates also reflected on ways to deconstruct Eurocentrism, which can be present in discussions of youth initiatives as well as question the long-term sustainability of these initiatives. The youth delegates continually evoke diverse and global perspectives and amplify the voices of those who are too often excluded from these conversations. These efforts are aimed at seeking meaningful participatory tools, compensation for their volunteerism, opportunities for self-growth, and understanding of how their voices can be used effectively to create change. Many of the lab and forum discussions spoke about the efforts of governments to revitalize democracy, but failed to address that youth constitute 1/4 of the world's population. And in order to create real efforts of sustaining democracy, many of us are putting ourselves in danger, physical danger, mental danger, and we're also subjecting ourselves to, emotional distress without having proper support system. Young people feel that while our governments take 1 step forward, collectively, we sometimes take 2 steps back because the trend revealed that civic engagement, youth participation, and global security are declining. So these are the recommendations from the youth delegation and, in fact, the youth in general. One is, despite being hosted by an European institution, the Council of Europe, the event is called the World Forum for Democracy, not the European Forum for Democracy. And so must involve genuine efforts to include voices and initiatives from around the world, safe spaces where everyone can interact with world leaders, representatives, and the youth delegation would be greatly appreciated. We view more dialogue between these groups as essential for fostering collaboration, which promotes brainstorming innovative solutions to the various challenges facing democracies today. The youth delegation also believes that there is an urgent need for discussions in European institutions around the legacies of colonialism and imperialism. And here we mean China colonialism, European colonialism, Russia, the America, and the rest. And the impact that these forms of colonialism have had on democratic government, particularly global struggles for self-determination. We question how European institutions can seek to hold accountable for injustices, can seek to hold others accountable for injustices if they cannot hold themselves accountable for historical injustices which continue to shape the everyday lives of those living in former European colonies. Furthermore, the Youth Delegation recommends improving discussions of equality by adopting an intersectional lens, which considers all the various and intertwined aspects of one's identity and how they shape experiences of discrimination. We challenge all those here today to always think about what you can do to include social minorities and other marginalized and unrepresented groups in everything that you do. Finally, the Youth Delegation is incredibly grateful for the opportunities for active participation in the forum by taking on roles of discussants, moderator, rapporteur, and we would be appreciative if this opportunity and any newly arising opportunities could be extended to future youth delegations. As a suggestion, we believe it would be incredibly fruitful to have either a lab, forum, or a plenary session where all the panelists are youths. Once again, we are really, really grateful for this very large platform to express our voices from different parts of the world and, to contribute to meaningful discussions. And thank you so much, every one of you, Youth Delegation. I'm going to miss you guys, but keep doing what you're doing. We roll.
Thank you, our youth rapporteur, Ioma. You could see the appreciation in the chamber. I think it's really well deserved. Thank you very much for your practical proposals and recommendations as well.